Today we are doing our own walking tour in Savannah. So the reason that we're doing it ourselves is because one, we have a lot of time here, so we can actually leisurely do this ourselves. And two, when we were actually looking into actually doing tours of like, you know, the historical like district of Savannah, there's like three options. There's a bike option, there's like the bus option, the hop on, hop off, and there are also walking tours. But when we looked into these three options, we kind of realized that we actually like hit a good chunk of them unintentionally. So with that in mind, we've already seen it. So we're like, you know what? Let's do it with more intention this time and do our own little Vogel walking tour. So come join us as we take you around Savannah. We are going next to the Macy Heritage Center. We don't think we're gonna go in it, but we figured we'd walk past it and talk about the history behind it. So update on our little walking tour. So we're kind of like, we have our route set, but we're kind of deciding in the moment whether we're gonna go in or not to some of these places. So a lot of the things that we're checking out, it's a lot about more about the architecture, and what's really amazing about just this space in general is there's so many signs that give you the education on it anyway. So if you have the time to read it, like it is worth, I think, doing the walking tour, the Vogel walking tour that we're doing. But I do want to say a fun fact about, right now we're at the Colonial Park Cemetery. And it's not just this cemetery that has this fun fact, just to share the fun fact that we learned from that other tour that we did, is that, and actually we learned it from Troy too. But back in the day, a lot of the times, which is very scary, people would get buried alive. And because of that phenomenon, they actually tied a bell to the people so that, like, let's say when they wake up from being buried alive, the bell would ring. So, but the thing was, is that a lot of the famous, or not actually famous, wealthy people in the day didn't want to have to deal with that. So they ended up making their own sort of above ground situation. That way that they, if they can't be found, that they have more time and they can kind of, I don't want to say be less scared, but kind of at the end of the day, a little bit less scared. A little bit more comfortable, I guess. A little more comfortable than being underground. Okay, so we just enjoyed a little bit of food and a treat, and now we're gonna head off to the River District, and we're going to honestly just enjoy, hop, be spontaneous, since the area is so filled with amazing stuff. So we'll let it tell us what we want to check out. A little bit more spontaneous in this one. What we're getting. Woo! We're getting a drink to go, because believe it or not, it's an open container here. You're allowed to drink in the certain areas, so we figured that we can, you know, do it ourselves. a lunch and a dinner you could do.
Oh, I didn't
here.
know that.
Yeah, they do. It's one of the
Ah.
tours, but I think I just wanted the sunset tour.
Yeah, sunset sounds like with speed.
Orange blossom. I'm just curious. If
Yeah,
there's
so this one is
something
pretty sweet naturally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh. How long is this? I mean, I have honey at home. Like this.
No.
Oh
my God.
No,
No. So good. Sorry, it was my face. I was just surprised because it was actually really good.
Honey never goes bad.
Like I was processing in my head.
Okay.
Natural process. The sugar breaking down
Didn't
the
expect
natural
that.
sugars.
Oh,
But you
I
can
gotta
just
try one.
put it in the glow for sure. That's what I want. There's that.
Wow, really good.
I don't want.
Oh yeah, I understand why this is a favorite. This is really, really good. We just got out of this really cool place. What's it called?
The Savannah Bee Company.
The Savannah Bee Company. Even though I feel like Savannah is known for their peaches, believe it or not, in Savannah, honey is also super popular. And so we went to this really famous store. I didn't get too much footage because we were actually talking to the people serving us some honey. Because I didn't want to be rude and record while we were talking. But so delicious. I actually never really have just raw honey, and it was amazing.
We ended up
Really
buying a little bottle because I was like, well, I'll go with their tea.
Yes. This place is the founder of the Girl Scouts. I wasn't one, so I don't need to go into this museum, but if you were a Girl Scout, I recommend.
Yeah. Or if you eat their cookies.
Yeah. We are back in Chippewa Square, which is the Forrest Gump Square, but I wanted to share with you a really fun fact. So, see these statues here? The coolest thing is like they are actually facing in the direction of their enemies to protect you. So I thought that was like a really cool thing that we learned on one of the tours that we were at, and I had to share. So we were here to go check out the, what was it? The sorrel weed house. Sorrel weed house. Unfortunately, it closes at 4. We thought it was 5. So we thought we had some time, but
yeah.
we don't. But that doesn't mean we will definitely come back and revisit it. But the reason we are visiting this house out of other ones today is because on our ghost tour, it said it was one of the most haunted, well, in the tour guide's eyes, one of the most haunted houses in Savannah.
So that means we have to check it out.
Exactly. So that's something that we were curious about and wanted to check out, but we will definitely be back and check it out and just obviously time it a little better than we did.
Yeah, my bad.
6 hours later and the walking tour is complete. We're back in Forsyth Park, and honestly, it was, after experience, I know it sounds long, it didn't feel long. We had some really nice breaks. It was not difficult to walk everywhere.
No,
like,
honestly, everything's really close by, and you can always pick a park to sit in on a bench if you'd like to. There's literally so many of them.
Yeah.
So you can always just take a minute, and honestly, we kind of broke up our day with like lunch and like those parks in general. So the tour is complete.